Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the Qasimi Foundation Community Conversation Series. And today's session will be discussing health and lifestyle.
Healthy living can be defined as maintaining a healthy lifestyle and introducing habits that improve your health. While it can be difficult to change all habits, there are steps that you can take to become healthier. And we're joined today by three panelists. Dr. Mahra will join us later, who know a lot more about this topic than we do. And those panelists are Psychotherapist Dr. Mahra, a nutritional consultant, Suzan Terzian, and wellness coach, Melanie Jolicoeur.
All right, so I'm Shahada Mravda and my colleague Ethan Lee Davis, and we're here from the Qasimi Foundation, and we'll be hosting the session today.
Before we start, we do have a few housekeeping items. So there'll be a Q&A session at the end of today's webinar. And if you'd like to ask any questions to any of our panelists, you can do so in the tab at the bottom of your screen in the middle. Okay,
so we'll be answering all the questions today. At the end of the session, we do have a Q&A, as Ethan mentioned. The session is in English, but if you have any questions in Arabic, then please ask them and we'll translate them.
Also, on the top right of your screen, there is an option to view either as a gallery or speaker view. So as a gallery view, you can see all of our speakers together. And as the speaker view, you'll view whoever's speaking in full frame. So you can choose options in your top right-hand corner.
All right, so let's kickstart our session and welcome our speakers. So thank you all for joining us. So let's start by, introducing each speaker, introducing themselves and telling us a little about why you work in this industry and what it is that you do. So let's start with Suzan. Suzan, can you tell us?
Yeah, thank you everybody for being here with us today. Thank you for hosting this session, you guys. So my name is Suzan Terzian. I'm a clinical nutritionist. I practice integrative and functional nutrition. And really what all that means is that I'm really passionate about empowering people with ways in taking control of their own health. I really believe in making health accessible to people. I think there's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of confusion with a lot of people on what health means, how they can achieve that. And also, I feel like there's a disempowerment. There's an inability for people to achieve that. So that's sort of my personal mission.
Fantastic. Thank you. Melanie, how about you?
Yeah, it's really a pleasure for me to be here today. Thank you for inviting me. And Suzanne, I just love what you just said. There's so much confusion. It's like, where do we start, Especially right now in this time of like, I feel the planet is like in a reset mode, So it's a bit crazy. And I felt myself a few years ago in this kind of place where I was kind of in a reset time in my own life. And I've witnessed lots of disease, lots of loss, lots of debt, and lots of challenges in my own health as well. And I was also confused. I was also in this place. I was like, where to start? And I thought that all this wellness thing was like, you had to be so perfect to do it. And so I was a bit overwhelmed as well at the beginning, but then slowly I just got curious. And from one thing to another, I opened up to this lifestyle, and wanting to know led me to another thing, and then I start to wanting to know more. And I've traveled the world the last 10 years around 30 different countries to just like dive into this space and meet some incredible people that inspired me to tune into my gift, and so now I can share this gift. So all this travel was actually an inside out journey. And it brought me to the place I am now, to tune into my gift and to share as an holistic practitioner. I explore so many different ways to share my practice and my gift today. And yeah, I'm just so really happy to be here with you and to share some of those tricks to just bring more love and peace in this world.
Oh, thank you so much, Melanie. I think you're very inspirational, and I've heard about, and you've told me a lot about it. So we can't wait to discuss this further. Dr. Mahra, thank you again for joining us. I know you had a little bit of a technical issue. I hope that's solved now. So our first question was just to tell us more about yourself and your work in this industry in general.
Hi, good afternoon. I am sorry for that connection problem. Dr. Mahra Al Malik. I'm psychologist. I'm professor in Ajman University. I will talk little about the mental health because I'm a psychologist, and I want to give you a little of awareness for mental health, because the most important in our life, the mental health. If I have any problem of any issues, it will make problem for me. So we want to control ourselves. We want to protect ourselves to be healthy in the mental health and physical, both of them. So we will talking about
so just a question to all of
how we control to ourselves, how to be positive in our thinking for everything in our life, because we have a lot of challenge in the life. So must to be strong, to be good, to deal for to control to all the problem in our life.
All right, thank you, Dr. Mahra.
Could you all just briefly maybe explain how you yourself in your line of work might define health and a healthy lifestyle? So maybe Suzan, again, can we perhaps start with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So how I would define health is actually one of my favorite questions, because I'm trying to redefine health for people. I think one of the problems that we see is that the wrong understanding of health. Health is often viewed as the absence of disease. And that's not health, that's not enough of health. That's not the health that I want for people, nor is it the health that I want for myself. Health for me is energy. It's feeling alive, being able to not be sleepy after lunch, being able to digest your food well, to have, a good mood and not feel tired and unable to play and run. And, so I think it's really important to redefine health and what is socially accepted as health. It would be beautiful for us all to change what is currently socially accepted as the mindset that health is the absence of disease, and just challenge what modern medicine has done, which is segregate and separate our body parts so that every bodily function is viewed separately, but we are a whole. Everything about us is interconnected. How we feel, how we think, how we move, how we eat, what we eat, who we surround ourselves with. So, health is our wholeness, and everything is connected. I'll stop there.
Couldn't agree more. Very good definition, Suzan. Melanie, how about you? What do you think?
I don't know what I can add after that, It's just so beautifully said. I love Susanna, you just before me,
Sorry, high five.
Yeah, it's exactly it. Like holistic is just such a beautiful word because it says whole. And I like to say we're perfectly imperfect, and we live in this world that is also perfectly imperfect. And I remember at the beginning, I thought, like, if you come back to the question, like how I define health, I thought that health was really to like eat perfectly, exercise perfectly, sleep perfectly, work perfect, do everything perfectly. And it's just exhausting. And then after you get into stress because you're trying to perform being Zen, and it's like, whoa, wait a minute. So I think that for me, health is really come from awareness. And this is to be aware that the world is not perfect. We're always gonna have radiation, pollution, food, pesticide, herbicide, like name it. So at one point, it's really hard to be just perfect in this world that we're living in. But how can we raise our vibration with so much simple things, with just gratitude, And the gratitude that we have in our food will also make the food better as well. So it just changed all the dynamic around us and inside of us. So start by just awareness, and start by raising your vibration with simple tips, simple little things. And then the rest will just unfold organically, because if you try to do everything perfect, oh my God, this is like gonna be so hard. Just stay this child that wants to play and explore, letting go of performance and just be in this whole exploration of life. and joy.
Well said. Well said, Melanie. Dr. Mahra, what's your intake on this?
For me, about myself, in the most important for me, how I make control for my attention, more my our thing, how if I feel I'm angry or something, how I make it control for myself, how when I get up, because all the people early morning, sometimes when he not taking good rest or not sleeping good, they feeling tired morning. So how I make, how I imagine today, the day today very good or positive idea, my emotion, how I make it control, how I will be happy for everything I do it from early morning. So if I make control for myself, for my thought, I will be happy, I will be healthy, I will contact with my friend, with my family, with all the people, and I have a smile. If even if I am tired or I have stress in the work, if I have good idea, I can do it everything. If I have confidence for myself, if I will be happy for my thought, I will do everything how I want. But if I have negative idea from early morning, when I get up or when I get late, maybe I will have a problem, maybe have a traffic. This thing, it will make for me tension, and I have stress. Maybe I will fight with somebody, with my friend. So by myself, if I make control, if I have a good idea, positive idea, I will make control for myself, even with making the exercise. Because if I have stress and I do exercise, also I will protect myself.
Yeah, very well said, Dr. Mahra. And my favorite part was smiling. I think I'm a person who enjoys that.
Definitely. Dr. Mahra, actually staying with you, I was wondering if you could talk about the fact that psychological and family counseling is perhaps not very common in the community in the UAE. And we're wondering, why do you think this might be the case? And why do you think it's important to seek out counseling and therapy for those who maybe are not used to doing so?
Yeah, the counseling very important, because we are all the people, they have a problem, they have stress. Sometimes they want to talk with somebody, but they want somebody they doesn't know, not relative, not friend, because he want to talk. He have a problem and he want to talk. He want take a consultant for somebody to give him good idea. Before, we have the stigma. All the people, they shy to go to psychologist or psychiatric doctor. But now with the awareness, the people, they go to the psychologist, they go to take the counseling, and they same of Europe and the other country, because some of them every week they go to only to talk, to see what happened in my life, how I will protect myself, how I will make CBT, or how I will change my mind for my life. So now the people, they come to us all the age, because I have a center for counseling in Ras Al Khaimah. We have a lot of people. Before, maybe they shy, maybe they think maybe I am not abnormal. Why I go to take the counseling, or to ask a psychologist or psychiatry. But now they change about the awareness. After we make awareness for the mental health, the people, when they have any stress, any worry, any problem, they try to contact with us. They want to change their life. They want to start from beginning, because I have a problem. I want to protect myself. I want to change my mind. Maybe I have a lot of idea. I cannot, sometimes they have a flat of idea. They have a lot of things in the mind. They cannot make control. They have a lot of target, but they cannot to put it step by step. So we're working with them to help them to think in the good thinking, the right thinking, and how to make control for myself, how I will be thinking by positive thing. That it will be help myself. I will protect myself to protect our.
Yeah, very well said, Dr. Mahra. Thank you. Suzan, my question for you is, I think this question is one of my favorites. I want to know more on. So how can people build a healthy relationship with food, and how can they take control of their life choices in terms of their diet?
How much time do you have?
Not so much.
How can people build a relationship with food? Look, I want to tell you that one of the things I'm passionate about is wiping the negative language that surrounds food. You know, that we tend to view food as something evil that we love. You know, it's either you're gonna eat or you're on a diet. You know, and this is something that I find has been just making people really sick and confused and unaware of what they need to do. So how can we change that? It's by knowledge, by real knowledge. You know, there's wellness and health and nutrition is trending right now, which is a good thing, but also a very bad thing, because now everybody's an expert and everyone's putting out information and people are really confused and they don't know who to believe, and everyone has a new diet and everybody listens to their friend or the latest Instagram expert as to what they should be doing. And again, it's very, very confusing for people. And I just want, and I can't really say that people should just listen to their body and eat intuitively, because also in order to be able to achieve that, we do have to teach ourselves how to return to that. I believe that the body has that knowledge. We are built beautifully. We are built to be healthy and to be energetic and vibrant beings, but also all of our normal habits, what we view what is socially accepted as normal. So let me give you an example. Having sugary cereals in the morning is a normal practice. Having, sleeping late at night is a normal practice. So these are normal. When I challenge the normal, it's as if we're doing something crazy, you know, but actually what we need to do is return back to what this body, this perfectly created body, knows how to do. We just need to get out of its own way. So I hope I answered that. I can't remember what the part 2 was.
No, it's all right. Part 2 is on like how can people start to build a healthy diet and a healthier lifestyle, in your opinion?
And I just think, you know, returning back to nature, there's so many nuances, there's so many details we can get into, but nature is key. And I think we are beings of nature, but we have moved so far away from that. If I were to sum it up, and there is no, and I just want to repeat this and I want everyone to take note, there is no perfect human diet. So if you're vegan, good for you. If you're a carnivore, good for you. If you eat paleo, good for you. Whatever works for you and ensures your health, that's fantastic. But as long as you stay away from processed and packaged foods that are not real food, they're food-like substances, and just eat from nature, then I think that would be like the simplest form of my answer.
Wow, very good. Great advice, Suzan. Thank you.
And Melanie, moving on to a question for you. As a wellness coach, what do you mean when you talk about wellness to your clients and to the people that you work with? And what is it that you say maybe when they want to know what they need to be more aware of in terms of their wellness, or what are sort of the key focus areas around improving their wellness?
Yeah, it's a very good question. You know, I've been working in so many different holistic center the last 2 years in Thailand, and now at the Lighthouse here in Iraq. The Lighthouse has such a beautiful program, and we get people that comes to those centers from all over the world, and from different background, as much as the corporate person to, you know, the mom at home, to the guy that it was either either detoxification or prison or whatever it is. Like we get all kinds of people, and accepting them how they are at the moment, and just allowing them to be at this place. And I think this is what yoga is. This is what this is the misconception as well that people has about yoga. People think that this is something you do on a mat, which is yoga means union. So every time you create this connection with yourself, with your body, mind, soul, you watch a sunset, you're embracing this sunset in the present, you're doing yoga. So every time you're connecting with yourself, you're choosing yourself to do something for you. Like you're doing it, you know? So for me, yoga is accepting where you're at. It's not like trying to do a split. It's not I try to be perfect. It's not anything of this. It's just accepting where you're at here and now with your darkness, with the light. And this is something that society puts a lot on the side. That's all our mess, you know, all the darkness. And I think that making your mess your message is the best thing to do. This is where we grow. You know, a kid, when it walks and it falls down, they come back up. It's just laughing and coming back up, you know. We lost this because slowly in the process of getting older, then we're just like, this is right, this is wrong, this is the way to do, this is the way to be. And then we become human doing, and we forget how to be human being and connected to ourselves, you know. And so we go into this system where we're just like rules, so many rules. And then we go to school, and at 17 years old, society tells us, find out what you're going to do, because that will define who you are. So you think that what you do define who you are, instead of who you are define what you're going to do. So you're not connected to yourself anymore. You're connected to what society wants from you. So, but asking yourself, what do you really want, and who are you really? What's make you vibrate? What's your passion? What nourishes you? And oftentimes people that comes, they don't know, they're so far from it because they've been into this whole roller coaster of life, trying to be perfect for everyone and performing into this world of performance. And then suddenly they have this moment. They're like, whoa, I'm not happy. Who am I? What do I want? What's going on? Am I sick? Am I healthy? Maybe I should just take a time for myself. And I'm there to say, like, it's okay. Everything is okay. And I'm there to say, like, I freaking honor that you chose yourself to come and to connect with yourself and to be guided. And we also as practitioners are guided, and we also reach for help. There's no doctor that can operate himself by himself. Like, we all need some support. So it's beautiful to go and have some guidance and have some support. And, you know, the thing as well that always makes me a bit like, not laugh, but it's like when in our field, because it's a holistic field, sometimes there's a lot of practice that we do, like sound therapy, like Reiki, like yoga, like all kinds of things with energy. And people are like, yeah, I believe in energy. And it always makes me reflect, like, how can you choose if you believe in energy or not? Like, you're made out of proton, neutron, electron molecule. You're made out of energy. You can't choose if you believe or not in it. It's just it. And we're just going to enhance this vibration and help you and guide you. And I don't have the answer for nobody, but I can guide them through their intuition. Just like Susan said, everyone has their own way to eat. Everyone can feel something better for themselves, but it's for us to guide them into their intuition, to empower them so they can rise into their vibration, into what resonates with them, and to empower this and guide that. I can go on and on. I'm just gonna.
No, it's very interesting. It's very interesting, and it's important to, like, because of how like life gets. It's sometimes people forget to like just take a step back and just think and answer all those questions that you mentioned. So it's very good points that you mentioned, and then people, you know, need to know more about what wellness is, and of course they need help, outside help. Very good points, Melanie. Thank you, Dr. Mahra. Moving on to you. So. What do you think is the biggest mental health issue that people in our community tend to overlook, and how can we be more consistent of it?
The most important, the confident. For if the people, they have problem in confident, they will have a lot of a problem. Sometimes they think they have wrong idea or something. He take a bad thing about himself. It will be also problem for the people. Sometimes they have a problem in when they are child. They have problem. Maybe the family doing something with them, they angry to them, so this issues, it will be problem for him. He have lost confidence, and sometimes he cannot talking with the people, he cannot make a friend, he cannot go to outside of the home. So must to protect the people from they are small, must to give him all the idea he can talk. I know everything I can do. I have the mental health more important for all the people, and how to protect myself, how I have good idea to myself. I know I can do it, because we working with them, how I protect myself. And if I have any problem, if I have stress, or I have an anxiety or depression, how I protect myself. We saw a lot of people, they have anxiety, or they have depression, but they cannot control himself for this problem. So they try to help themselves. If they cannot, must to go for psychologist or psychiatry to help them to change the mind. Maybe sometimes he need to take medication or something. So if I know from myself how I protect myself, I will do everything okay. Sometimes I need somebody to give me counseling, or give me the good idea to protect ourselves. So if we think about ourselves in the right way, we can make it everything. If I make for me, I do everything same the routine, I will feel not good about myself. Maybe I'm bored. So we want to change. We want to change the routine. We must to make a lot of things to change, because sometimes if I do everything same thing, I will feel sad, or I will I doesn't have any friend. So I need to somebody to help me to change my lifestyle. If I change, if I make it control for this idea, I will be happy. I will feel happy. I will try to contact with the other.
Of course. I think that's very important. And as you know, the community is developing, people are actually opening up to the idea of mental health and counseling in general.
Yeah, it's something that it's really, really important, especially as we really change a lot of our cultural dynamics around what the stigma and acceptance is. So Suzan, moving on to you, we all, each one of you have your own methodologies in how you go around your work, but for you, what have you found are effective methods in helping clients make healthy relationships with food, and helping them to make the necessary diet and lifestyle changes that really suit them and suit the needs that will, lead to a healthier, more fulfilling life?
I'd actually like to support what Dr. Mahra was saying. Mindset is such a key when it comes to changing. So what a lot of people like to do is do everything the exact same way, but then expect a change, to see a change in their health or in their weight. I mean, look, for a lot of people, they talk to me normally about weight loss. And that's okay. I accept it all, but I like to reel them in with that, no problem. But then I like to affect their entire being and help them see things in a healthy light. Things are not only about weight loss. But to touch on what Dr. Mahra was saying, if we keep repeating the same things over and over, which is like 50% of what we do every day is exactly the same as what we did the day before, including our thoughts. So if we don't alter that, if we don't adjust that, then of course we're going to get the same results. And remember, when people change the way that they eat, for example, I'm focusing on the food, but there are all different aspects of wellness. But if they just go on a diet, you can get one online, for free, and they follow that for a couple of weeks. Eventually, they will come back to what they know. So my focus is to help people to change what they know, to eliminate their normal if it is not supporting their health. So what I would encourage everyone to do, to all our viewers and listeners today, is take inventory of your daily habits when it comes to the actions that you take every day, the thoughts that you think every day, the foods that you eat and drink every day. Take inventory of that. Notice it. Don't just do it, just out of habit. And then have a look at it and ask yourself, is this feeding my health? Is this actually depositing health into my health account? Because there's two things that can happen with every food item that we eat. It's either feeding health or feeding disease. There is no other way around it. You're either feeding health or feeding disease. And so you have the ability, and to me, it's not about scaring people. On the contrary, I want to empower people that, you can take control of your health simply by altering what goes at the end of your fork. Or just by, making small attainable changes to what you put into your body. And again, it's not just about what we eat. So it's also about what you put on your body as far as creams or perfumes, what you expect of your body, if you're moving or you're not, if you're sleeping or you're not, if you're laughing or you're not, yeah, I tend to digress. It's not just about food. That's really a key for me, although food plays a huge role. And if you want to see a quick change in your health, it's a great place to start. Start with food and you will see a change.
Absolutely. I think that's just brilliant advice for all our listeners. This is where you want to start. So Melanie, let's move on to you. So in your opinion, what's the benefits of yoga and breathing techniques?
I'd like to, there is such a world there. I'd like to just keep going with Suzan was saying, because I think that the sentence that comes back into my mind all the time is always asking myself, is that nourishing me or is that filling me up? The difference between pleasure and happiness. And most people think that they want to reach happiness. I don't think personally you reach happiness. I think you reconnect with happiness. I think it's inside of us. I don't really think there's a bag of positive thought and a bag of negative thought. I think it's the perception behind the thought that makes it what it is, And so I think that breath and yoga, first, yoga is part of the breath as well. Everything is part of yoga, right? So what happens on the mat is a reflection and it's a mirror of what happens in life. So, and yoga is, as a practice on the mat, is like 10% of what the whole yoga is. So for me, the importance of yoga and of breath, like there's so many. And first of all, I think that the most important, if I would have to choose one, which is really hard, I would choose get out of this fight and flight response and go into the rest, digest, and just like live and connect with yourself, because in this world that we go crazy into this performance, we are too much into a fight and flight response, and that affects us mentally and physically. So and the food as well, like how we digest it, and the mental aspect, and everything is just when you're into fight and flight, back in the days when a tiger would attack you, you would just go into this fight and flight. But today it's the phone, it's the radiation, it's the car, the traffic, the children, the everything is bringing you into fight and flight. Even food can bring you into fight and flight because there is so much things that you just don't know what it is now, So when you're into fight and flight, you create less saliva, so your digestive system is affected. Then your nervous system is affected. Your immunity is affected. So, if you want to transplant an organ in the body, you inject them with adrenaline, and adrenaline suppresses the immunity. Think about that. So if you're an adrenaline really high, you're suppressing your immunity. So people that think about, virus around, you can put gloves and masks, but if you don't care about your immunity and your system and your whole health, then it's going to still be hard for your immunity to be there for you. And that's as much mental, because emotionally, This is the emotion creates stress. The stress creates acidity, brings us into fight and flight, less enzyme, more cortisol, more like, so immune system, digestive system, nervous system. These are the system we address into yoga, as much on the mat and off the mat. Emotional system, understanding your emotion, what it is, resentment, what's the ego, what is patient, what is impatient, what is envy, what is fear, what is love, what is all these things. Get to know them, and so you can identify what's happening into your life instead of just identifying yourself that I'm Mel, I work there, I do this. There is a whole range of things for us to be aware of, to slowly incorporate this in our life. So breath work is about coming back to here and now, creating, alkalining your system, treating your immune system, your digestive system, massaging your organs, and we breathe like shallow breather, maybe 1/10 of what we're supposed to breathe. So we don't, and exhale is as much, even more important than inhaling. So learning how to breathe again, like we did when we were a child, is such an importance, and we just not educated on this. So our breath is huge, And yoga, well, it's all what we're combining all together, from emotional intelligence to taking care of all of our system. And most of all, self-love. Self-love is such a, it's started by this. It's started by this, to choose yourself.
Of course, absolutely. I really enjoyed the science of yoga. That was really interesting. So let's move on to question and answers from the audience.
Yeah, and as a reminder to everyone, if you do have questions, you can ask them in the Q&A tab at the bottom of your screen. So we currently have a question from Perihan, and it's a question for you, Suzan. There is a lot of attention now towards plant-based diets, especially some theories point about being able to switch off cancer genes through eliminating the consumption of animal proteins and dairy. So the question is, I want to ask more on what your take is on that, and what quantity or quality should we consume of meat or dairy for their protein benefits?
Thank you for your question. So I did say before, I don't like diet dogmas. So I don't like to say that there is one perfect human diet. So again, what works for one person may not work for the next. But yes, there has been a lot of science supporting the plant-based eating. And to me, I want to just clarify what that means is that you would eat a lot of plant foods. It doesn't mean that you do not include animal foods. So for some who are vegan, who do not want to consume animal products, that's fine, as long as you are making sure that you're getting in all the other nutrients that you need. But plant-based is something that I recommend for everyone, as in be plant-centric, I guess, have a lot of plants, a lot of vegetables, get that fiber in you. And I want to say, just to support this, and I will go back and talk about dairy and meat as part of the question, but I want to say that in the time of COVID right now, as we are trying to hide and run away from a virus, my message has constantly been, we can't run away from viruses, guys. They're around us all the time. But what we can do is that we can empower our physical body, which is, every single one of us, every single day, we are fighting and winning so many viruses. We are battling so many viruses all the time. And one of the main factors is most of our immune system lays in our gut. So inside our gut, we have trillions of microorganisms living inside, and they are, we outsource so many of our bodily functions to them. They're responsible for, even extracting nutrients from our food. And these microbes, this rainforest of bacteria and viruses, we need to feed them right. So when you think about food, it's no longer just about taste. It's no longer just about crunch. It's about, are we feeding the beneficial bacteria that are going to be responsible in supporting my immune system, so that when I do get attacked by a virus, or a bacteria that I am able to support my body. So when you think of food that way, it's very interesting. It's not just about taste and flavor. To go back to the meat question, so for me, what animal are you eating? What is the source of this animal? Are you getting a well-raised animal, a well-fed animal? It makes a difference. And let me explain. So if you eat a conventionally raised cow, so any meat that you would eat generally in the market has been fed with corn. Now, cows are supposed to eat grass. And if they're eating corn, they're getting really fat real quick. And that's really good for the food industry, but it's not good for our bodies. So I think you can imagine what I'm trying to say. I recommend that, animal protein does have a wonderful place in our lives. It does support human growth. Again, I am not saying that you must. If you are a vegan, absolutely, all power to you. But when you eat animal protein, this is easily broken down by the body and you get what you need from it. But please find good sources of protein. I need your cows to be eating grass. So I look for grass-fed meat and I look for organic. And here in Abu Dhabi, you can get that at the Organic Foods and Cafe. And also at Spinneys, they provide, you can buy those fillets, that are grass-fed. And the same thing with the eggs, the same thing with chicken, any animal product. I want you to ask yourself, how did this animal live? Because however it was fed and how it was raised and how it was treated will affect you. This energy is passed on to you. And so that's important to know.
Oh, thank you so much, Suzan, for that. Dr. Mahra, this question is for you. Someone says, being based in Ras Al Khaimah, what mental health services are available to people in RAK and where?
We have services for mental health. I have Cambridge Center in Corniche. We have counseling, psychotherapy. We can also make music therapy, relaxation. We observation the case first and we see what's the problem. And after we tell him what's the technique, same the CBT, what the technique we will make for them, what's the plan we can contact with them, and we can help this to make observation for them. And we have MBI also that for personality. We have IQ test, even also for the child, for couples. We have all this service in our center. And for the mental health, also in Ubaidallah Hospital, they have also psychiatry department.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Mahra.
Yeah, and Dr. Mahra, we actually have another question for you from the audience. And depends whether you know about these, but do you think that the psychometric test helps in identifying and selecting the right people for jobs? And one of the examples that the attendees said was that the Iraq government apparently did this for selecting jobs. So they had some concerns about whether it dropped good potential candidates. So yeah, the question is about whether you think that these kind of tests are actually helpful in putting people in the jobs that are a good fit for them.
Yes, it's the psychometry. It helps the people if they have something to do or they want to study some subject. The psychometry, I will choose what's the thing he like it, because sometimes the student in the school or in the university, they doesn't know where is the good place I can go to work in that. So the psychometry, the test we make for them, we see. Even also we have contract with a lot of companies. We make for him assessment to see what's the problem and also where is the good place for this employer. So the psychometry, if I use it, even the personality, sometimes we make the MMBI because we want to check if they have personality problem, if they have anything to change. Sometimes they doesn't know how to put the plan. Sometimes they have a lot of target, but they cannot make focus for something. So we help them how to do everything.
Very good, very well. Melanie, this question is for you. So as someone who's worked and lived around the world, have you noticed if and how cultural backgrounds can shape people's understanding and approaches to a healthy lifestyle and well-being in general?
It's a really good question. Yeah. Of course it does. And this is also because of different belief system, different way to be raised, different environment as well, different, like there's some country, like people, they still walk barefoot every day, they go to the beach every day, they have some greens all around them. Some of the countries there's more cities, some of the places more like different culture, different place you're raised will have different impact on you in your belief system and also on your health, I believe. So of course it has an impact. I think that it can sometimes separate people, but at the same time I think that when we all come in front of someone to get some help, we all open up. I think we are all at the same place at this moment, and for me, like when I have the treatment I do right now at the Lighthouse, and I also do program online, but the fly therapy is a therapy that I've created, and I wanted to create something that was actually for everyone, whatever you come from, whatever background. And I've discovered so much through it, because it's a therapy. I use 5 different medicine inspiration to create, and it's in a hammock as well, and you're supported. And some people from India felt back into their sari, in their childhood, and they felt secure. And some other people felt like the weightlessness experience, and some other people felt even like when they were a kid, like inside the mama. So they come back to the root. At this point, I think everyone is the same. Everyone's looking to be seen, to be loved, to be heard, and to be secure, and to be taken care of. And so the fly therapy is a treatment where I use 5 different medicine to it's like an hypnotic experience for the body to tune in into a deep parasympathetic state, so the body can heal by itself. And so whatever the culture is, whatever the country is, for me, it doesn't stop me from anything. And I just welcome the person as me. I'm him, he's me. We're all one thing. There's no separation for me.
Oh, I'm so intrigued. I actually want to know more now. So let's wrap up. This is the last question. So what do you think is the first step, or what advice would you give to someone who wants to start to build a healthy lifestyle? Let's start with Dr. Mahra.
Can you repeat the question?
So what's the first step that someone who wants to start a healthy lifestyle should take, or what advice would you want to give someone who's about to start?
First step, I change my myself with making control for all the idea. If I can make control for all the idea, not if I have more thinking, I must to make it control to stop all the idea, because we have a lot of idea. Same the negative idea. If the first step, how I will protect myself, protect my mind, how I will be happy, how I will protect myself from the negative idea. All this thing, the first step for myself. If I know how I make control for myself, when I am angry, when I have stress, when I have any problem, if I make control for myself, I will be happy, and I will feel good with the other. And even also if I have any stress, I know how to do what's the solution for this. Same, I will go to make exercise. Maybe I will go to run. Maybe I will eat chocolate. Maybe I will change my place. Maybe I will drink coffee. This all the thing must to put it in my mind, because if I have a problem, I want protect myself and make control for myself for all the emotion for me. If I can make it control, I will have mental health, and I will make everything good with the other.
Absolutely. I think that's a great place to start. Suzan, how about you?
And so I think I want to follow up on everything that I've already said, and I think I've given a lot of how to start, but I want to give you a little analogy for everyone to kind of go home with. Is if we had a fish bowl with a goldfish inside it, and as the water gets murky and dirty, and as this fish begins to get sick, would the solution be to give this fish medication? Or would the solution be to change the water, the environment that this fish lives in? And obviously the solution would be to change the environment. So same with us humans, you know, as we develop a headache, let's say at 4 o'clock every day, rather than numbing it with a Panadol, and this is the way our body speaks to us, because our body is constantly in communication with us. We need to get to the root cause of that and find out what is going on. So the solution to any of your health queries is check out your environment. Take inventory of your environment. Is your environment supporting health? Is your environment nurturing you, nourishing you? And I think that's a great place to start.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Suzan. How about you, Melanie?
Yes, so beautiful answers. You know, the first thing is that whatever you're going to take, whatever step you're going to take, if it's not from your heart, it's going to be not fun. If you're privating yourself and you're trying to do something because you want to follow society, you want to be enough, you want to all of these things, it's going to be tension in you, whatever you do. It has to be driven by your heart. It has to be something you want to do for the love of yourself. So what do you put in your car? You put maybe super. What do you want to put in your body, mind, soul? You know, why are we treating this car better than ourselves? You know, and just try to start to be curious, question yourself. You use what? Maybe 1% of your human potential? What if you can use more? You know, what if you can tune into this curiosity and learn more about yourself? What if you can meet yourself into silence, you know, and have this connection, you know, and then from there, understanding what is your body telling you, like, because it's talking like, hey, I want to tell you something, and we just numb it. We're going to do something else. We don't have time. Listen to the sensations in your body, you know, and then from there, finding, as Suzan said, the root cause of this. And because I'm going to tell you one example about this, and I'll finish with that. For example, for me, if someone comes to me and say, I have pain in my lower back, which a lot of people has, you know, in traditional medicine, oftentimes we'll go and check the lower back pain and give some medication and all of this. For me, the logic is when you're stressed mentally, what happened is your system closed down, your diaphragm closed down. Then what happened, your organs are trying to help that. So they come up, they don't do this equally. So then one hip come up, and then what you have, back pain. If you treat your lower back, yes, okay, a few days will be good. But the problem is here. Release the diaphragm area and the organs come back into place and hips come back into place. And that comes from where? It comes from from an emotional intelligence that we need to address. The body is talking to you. You're reacting to something. So it's about really be curious, listen, take some time to be with yourself and just give it your best. This is your temple. You know, it's sacred, you know, we're having this human experience. So let's just make the most out of it. Play, explore, be curious, and just get some guidance.
Wow, very wonderful. I wish this could go on and on. I'm just enjoying it.
Well, unfortunately, we have come to the end of the session today. And we hope that everyone who's here has really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today at the Community Conversations. I would like to thank again Dr. Mahra, Suzan, and Melanie for joining us and for sharing all their experiences, all their advice, and just amazing tips for having a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, I certainly at least learned a lot today. And for those who joined us maybe later in the session or wish to share this with their friends and family, this will be up on our YouTube channel in a few days, and we'll be posting that on our social media platform. So please share with anyone who you think this may be useful or helpful, and let us know messages if you'd like to have that link shared with you, and if you can't find it.
When you leave the session, you'll have to complete a very short survey. It'll take up to 2 minutes of your time, so please do that. And if this is your first event with the Qasimi Foundation, please join our website to find more information on our next or upcoming events. Yep,
so on behalf of the Qasimi Foundation, from me personally and from Shahad, thank you for joining us today, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Thank you.